thinking, man, that I hasn't thought much today. I find days like this quite strange and interesting because they're always enjoyable. Yet I come to the audio and realise, damn, like, I haven't spent much time pondering anything today. And that's not always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing at all. I had a really nice session today, a really good session. I spent a lot of time last night, funnily enough, thinking about where I want to go and what I want to do with my training and how I want to structure this block, so on and so forth. I've been thinking about it a lot more recently, especially since that deload week. And I think as of now, I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to spend 2 days a week benching, 2 days a week squatting, and 2 days a week deadlifting. I say that now, and it doesn't quite fit the bill for me. It's not exactly what I want, because eventually, like my ideal scenario, my perfect scenario would first and foremost require me to have some equipment at home, not all, so I could still go to the gym on a daily basis. But in an ideal world, I want to do all 5 compound lifts every single day, to varying degrees, of course. But every single day, I want to put my body through 5 compound lifts. Those compound lifts being the obvious 3: bench, deadlift, and squat, along with a pull off the floor and a carry. I personally believe a carry is a compound lift. Some people may not. I think it's very overlooked. I was first introduced to that thought from a Squat University video. And funnily enough, it just so happened I'd been carrying a lot prior to seeing that video, and it just landed on my lap. And it made a lot of sense to me. Carrying had benefited me a lot and changed my body a lot. And I believe it's a very overlooked and very important element of any holistic training program, especially where a priority of said training program is strength. So that, in combination with being quite heavily inspired by recently watching a lot of Iron Lou's content, which again was recommended to me from a subscriber, so shout out you. I really enjoy how he breaks his training down. He's got, strength, strongman training, and calisthenics, and he prioritizes it. So his priority is strongman movements, and he uses powerlifting to supplement the strongman movements. So, for example, the bench press benefits your ability to press anything in any capacity. The squat strengthens your lower back, which is extremely important for the yoke walk, sorry. And in the same way, the deadlift strengthens your posterior chain, which is very important for farmers carries. And it's a beautiful way of breaking down your training. What is your priority? And if I'm being completely honest with myself, my priority is strength. It is strength. Mobility is a very, very, very close second. It's a very close second. But when I look at what I've been spontaneously doing for a long time now, it's mostly been geared towards gaining strength and becoming and being a stronger man. Okay, so finally accepting that is an important piece of this puzzle. From there, okay, strength is my priority. Strength and mobility are what I want to achieve, right? So how do I feed strength? You perform powerlifts. You train like a powerlifter for the majority of the time. You get your benching, you get your squatting, you get your deadlifts in. And then you could argue, well, okay, cool, you do mostly powerlifting training, but okay, strength is your priority, so it'd be important to incorporate some sort of strongman work as well. So carrying and pulling is extremely important. Personally, I love using sandbags. The only experience I've ever had was with my old BJJ, my first BJJ coach. at his house, he's big on sandbags and using sandbags and because it translates very well into grappling. And it's quite similar. It's not similar. It's not the same thing. And I've never done any sort of like Dinny Stone training or any strongman training besides the little bits and pieces that I did with my old coach. However, I would love to do that, but again, I don't have the facilities right now. So, okay, cool. Strength is your priority and mobility is a secondary priority. So how do we go about attacking that? Well, it's quite simple if you ask me. Live in a more mobile way to attack your secondary priority, which is what I'm doing, and strive to live more mobile every single day. Walk more, sit better at home, sit on the floor. When you're sitting on the floor, you're always incorporating some sort of stretch, whether you realize it or not. And as much as you can handle, incorporate stretches where you most definitely are fucking stretching and you realize it, because it's tough. So that's mobility ticked for now. And when you got the time, incorporate some shit after the gym, after your workouts, after you've put your body through something strenuous. Release it a little bit. Okay, mobility sorted. Right, now strength, attacking strength. I'm not at a place physically where I believe it would be wise or smart for me to attack the bench, the deadlift, the squat, a pull and a carry every single time I go to the gym. And to be quite frank, I already spend enough time at the gym, and the idea of doing all those 5 things at the gym sounds extremely, extremely time consuming. So, as much as I hate to say it, I need to go back to where I was a year or so ago before I started doing these videos and build the foundations to be able to do what I want to do. So that starts with breaking that shit up. So it's time to deadlift, bench and squat twice a week, with one day being I guess you could say mobility and deload day, where I will focus on body weight movements only and supplement that with stretching and mobility work, so on and so forth. Some of it may be weighted, some of it may not be. And then from there, I need to then break down and understand my compound movements better, what are my max, like what I'm able to do for a training max, so then I can figure out on the days where I'm not working up to a training max where I need to be working, what percentage ranges I need to be working, determine what rep ranges I want to be doing. Because ideally, the way I see it is, if I'm breaking things down to 2 days a week, the compound lifts to 2 days a week, I want to spend one of those days doing high rep work. And when I say high rep work, I mean like breathing sets, like 20 rep squat sets. And then on the other day, I want to be working up to a training max. And then on the days where I'm working up to a training max, I'll almost certainly supplement shit, because I love pull-ups, for example. I love weighted pull-ups and I love weighted dips, and I don't want to lose them in my training. So I see it like, okay, cool, when the days where I work up to a training max, it's fairly quick and fairly easy, just from a feeling like you're doing loads perspective. There'll be the days where I do my bodyweight compound list, weighted, So it's pretty simple, it's pretty easy. I need to put it on paper. I've been slacking with putting pen to paper recently. But I look forward to it. It's going to take me, I have to accept within myself that it's going to take me a week to really a week, maybe 2, to really calibrate this and really get this down. But this is something I really want to commit to. I really want to give a go. I really want to commit to. I've recently come back to the the bench press, and really enjoyed it. I've recently got much better at the deadlift from an understanding perspective, and was thankfully and very grateful for being humbled in the way that I was on Sunday, I believe, and getting that little strain in my back, because I needed to slow down, and that was very important. That was very important. That lift there was very ego driven, and the squat is something that I need to go back to again, and reconnect with in a much more humble manner, rather than trying to force my body into a squat that it simply isn't ready for, isn't comfortable with, under loads that it simply isn't ready for and isn't comfortable with, at the depth in which I demand of myself. I need to eat some humble pie and attack it wisely. So I look forward to it. Like I said, give myself a week or two to really get this idea down and calibrated on paper, so on and so forth. But I am excited. I'm excited. If you made it this far, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you more than you can imagine. And I shall see you tomorrow. Peace.